So we are in the middle of the organization structure creation, and yesterday we have created the controlling area, and I think we have assigned the company code to controlling area. So we'll check it once again. SPRO, IMG, enterprise structure, assignment, controlling, assign company code to controlling area. So I'll check verify whether we have assigned it or not. And here, yeah, this is our controlling area. Select it and double click on assignment of company codes. Yes, you have assigned it. So in the yesterday's class, we have seen up to here. So the next point is controlling area. Maintain controlling area. Still we are in the settings of the controlling. So as we discussed yesterday, these controlling settings as an functional consultant, we never create it. As we have some scenarios from our side to execute them, we are doing these controlling settings in the training program only. In the real time, these settings are done by the controlling consultant. It's done by the CO people, not by us. So next point is maintain controlling area. So we'll go with respect to the path. SPRO, SAP reference IMG, controlling, general controlling, organization, maintain controlling area. Maintain controlling area. So click on this clock. Then again, double click on the maintain controlling area. Double click on the maintain controlling area. Select the controlling area what we have created. So our controlling area created is 2001, and double click on activate components control indicators, and double click on activate components control indicators. Click on new entries. So fiscal year, the current running year. Fiscal year, the current running year. And here cost centers. So we supposed to use the cost centers whenever we want to issue the goods. So unless and until this indicator is not active, the system will throw the message. So in the cost centers, select the indicator component active. In the same way, when you are creating a purchase order or sales order from the and SDN, if you don't maintain this order management and commit management indicators active, it will throw the error saying that the commit management and the order management is not activated. So therefore, order management in the drop down, component active, and commit management in the drop down, component active. So these three indicators should be activated position. Otherwise, system will not allow to issue the goods to a particular cost center and to create a purchase order and sales order. The system will throw the error messages related to the controlling. Save. Press enter. Save. Again press enter. Go back to main screen. Go back to main screen. Select the controlling area and click on, there is a magnifying glass icon. That icon we call as a details option. Select the controlling area and click on details. and here you have CCTR STD hierarchy, cost center standard hierarchy. So here I'll maintain the company code or controlling area what we created. Save the document. Save the document. Next, maintain number ranges for controlling documents. Maintain number ranges for controlling documents. It's the same path, SPRO, SAP reference IMG, controlling, general controlling, organization, and just below that you have maintain number ranges for controlling documents. Click on clock. Enter the created controlling area. Enter the created controlling area. Then click on groups. There is option called groups icon. In the menu bar, group insert. In the menu bar, group insert. So for example, give some text. I'll give my company code 2001. The text information you can give anything, or you can put your company name also. And from number, I will enter 1 and 2 number, so I'll give some number. So what is this number ranges concept that we'll discuss in our MM. So this is overly to talk about it. So just give the from number 1 and 2 number, give any number. So what is this number ranges concept that we'll discuss later on. So from number, start with 1 and 2 number, that you can give any number. So what is this number ranges concept that we'll discuss in our MM part. Press enter. Press enter and save the document. And save the document. So here the group will be created. See here 2001. Now double click on the indicator. There is an indicator called COIN. So that is called controlling indicator. Double click on the indicator COIN. Then select the group and click on element group. Select the group and click on element group. Automatically the indicator will be assigned to the group. Save the document. Save the document. Next, maintain versions. Maintain versions. So the path is the same path. SPRO, IMG, controlling, general controlling, organization, maintain versions. Select the version 0 and double click on settings for each fiscal year. Select the version 0 and double click on settings for each fiscal year. The moment when we double click on it, system open a screen. Enter the controlling area. Enter the created controlling area. Press enter. Press enter. Make sure that the current fiscal year to be maintained by copying the existing year. Make sure that the current fiscal year to be maintained by copying the existing year. If you observe, the existing year from 2016 to 2020 is already there. From 2016 to 2020 is already there. Let us assume the current running year is 2021. Let us assume the current running year is 2021, which is not available in the list. Then how can we maintain? So you select the existing year and click on copy. Select the existing year and click on copy. And replace this 2016 with 2021 and replace with the current year. Press enter and save. Press enter and save. Now you are able to see 2021 right. As 2016 is already there, so I am showing you an example of another year. Next, to create cost center. So this parameter is required for our guys in the real time. To create a cost center or a department. So that's the reason we have done all these settings. We are doing it. So to create a cost center, the path is, or the navigation is SPRO, SAP reference IMG, controlling, cost center accounting, master data, cost centers, create cost centers, again create cost center, double click on it. So for example, I'll create a cost center as mechanical department. Enter the current date. So in SAP system, always we're supposed to enter valid from. Valid to by default it will be there 31/12/9999. So no need to enter valid to. And below I am entering the SAP given standard cost center and the SAP given standard controlling area. So for example, I am create a cost center, mechanical department, then valid from, then enter the SAP given standard cost center and SAP given standard controlling area. Press enter. In the basic data tab, you have hierarchy area. Enter the controlling area. Enter the controlling area. And here you have profit center. Remove this profit center, keep it as a blank, nil. Now when I press enter, you will get a message in yellow color. So as I said, it's a warning message. So while you are practicing also, if you are going to come across with messages in yellow color, those are warning messages. Just press enter, it will skip. Save the document. So cost center has been created. Next, to create cost element or GL account. To create a cost element or GL account. So the path is SPRO, IMG, controlling, cost element accounting, master data, cost elements, create cost elements, then again create primary cost element. Always take the cost element as 400,000, that is 4 lakhs. In our training program, this is standard. In our training program, this is standard. Enter the valid from, press enter. In the basic data tab, cost element category. So it's a primary cost 1. So keep it as a 1. And you have another tab called default account assignment. So here I'll maintain default account assignment. The cost center. What are the cost center you have created? Press enter. Save. So cost element has been created. So these two parameters are required for us from our side. So that's the reason we have done all these settings. Without this doing this setting directly, you cannot create a cost center and cost element. So first we need to create a controlling area. We need to assign the company code to controlling area. Then we need to activate the components and control indicators. Then we need to maintain the number ranges, versions. Then only you can create cost center and cost element. Directly we can't create it. So in the real time, these two parameters we are going to collect or we are going to get from the controlling department, that is controlling consultant. We never create all these settings. So with this, we complete the organization structure. Now I want to see the total organization structure, what I created and what I defined and what I assigned, like company, company code, plant, store location, purchasing organization, controlling, etc. Now to display the organization structure in the system, to display the organization structure in the system. So the path is EC01, EC01, structure, navigation, press enter, system displays list of company codes. So click on straight away on the binoculars icon. That is find option. Enter the company code. Press enter. So system displays the company code. You place the cursor on the company code and double click on it. Now the system displays the company code, your company, controlling area. Leave this credit control area. These are your two plants. If you click on the each plant, it will display the stores. Second plant, it will display the stores. In the same way, purchasing organizations linking to the company code and plant. So like this, once we need to define and then assign, therefore we are going to see the total organization structure. So in the real time, as an MM consultant, we are going to create only 4 parameters. What are those? Plant, store location, purchasing organization, purchasing group. That's it. We are not going to create all this company code, controlling area, everything. Okay, fine. Now the next topic is master data. We are going to discuss the next topic is master data. Now what is this master data? For example, I want to create a purchase order. So what is the basic content of the purchase order? It contains the material information, the material what you are going to purchase, the quantity, how much quantity, price, what is the price, delivery date, delivery address, and the supplier information. So this is the information we maintain in the purchase order. So here, if I want to create a purchase order in our SAP system, first we have to define the organization structure. Then we need to have the master data informations, that is the material information what you are going to purchase, and the supplier information, that is vendor information what from where you are going to purchase. So without these two parameters, we cannot create a purchase order. Okay. So what is this master data? A simple example I will give it. Each and every person will have an account number in our banks. Whereas your account number is a primary or a unique information. Unique means there will be no duplication. One account number given to one customer cannot be given to another. It's a unique information, account number. Now what this customer is doing? Using this account number, he is doing some transactions, debit, credit, issuing the checks, etc., etc., etc. Whereas the account number is a unique information or a primary information. Using the account number, the customer is doing some transactions. In the same way, here the master data are like our account number. Using our master data, we are running the transaction data like purchase requisition, quotation, purchase order, contract, sales order, production order, etc. This material information, the supplier information, and the customer information are the master data, and they are unique information. Duplication is not allowed. Okay, so using this master data, we are going to run the transaction data. In our SAP, for each and every functional module, we have the master data. It's not only for MM. For other modules like production planning, sales and distribution, even for those modules also, we have this master data. So basically, what is a master data? So master data contains the information stored in a database for a longer period, which is used for different applications and functions. So what is a master data means? Master data contains the information stored in a database for a longer period, which is used for different applications and functions. And the different types of master data is available in our SAP MMR. So these are the 5 master data what we have in our SAP MM. Material master, vendor master, info record, source list, quota arrangement. These 5 master data belongs to our module called MM. So we'll discuss one by one. So first one is material master. When you take any organization, the company is going to use different types of materials. raw material, finished material, semi-finished material, trading materials, service materials, consumable materials, low value materials, high value materials, etc., etc., spare parts. Like this, you'll have so many of the materials and goods. All the materials informations the company going to purchase and the company going to manufacture or produce, that materials information in our SAP system is stored as a material master. So we call it as a material master or a material name or a material number or a material code. Makes same sense. Okay. So what is a material master? So material master is a master file which contains the information of a particular material depending upon the views selected from the user departments. Material master is a master file which contains the information of a particular material depending upon the views selected from the user departments. So here we have different types of views. Depending upon the requirement, we'll select the views and we'll maintain the information. So coming to the views for the material master. So here we have different types of views. Basic data 1, purchasing, general plan data storage 1 and storage 2, accounting 1, MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, forecasting, work scheduling, production resources tools, warehouse management 1 and 2, sales organization data 1 and 2, sales general plan data, quality management, etc., etc., etc. So like this we have so many views to be maintained. Now which views belongs to which module? That is very important. So from basic data 1 to accounting 1, it belongs to materials management. From basic data 1 to accounting 1. Next, MRP 1, 2, 3, 4, work scheduling, forecasting, production resources tools. These views belongs to PP, production planning module. Warehouse management 1, warehouse management 2 belongs to WM module. Sales organization data 1, 2, general plan data for SD module. And quality management is for QM module. So it means for one material we can maintain all these modules information, the purchasing information, the planning information, the warehouse information, the sales information, the quality information, etc., etc., etc. can maintain. Now this SAP is going to subdivide the materials and goods based upon the material type. Okay, in the industry, whatever the companies are using the materials and goods, those materials are identified or subdivided based upon the material type. Then what is this basically the material type means? So material type is a key that assign the materials to a group of material types such as raw material, finished material, semi-finished material, trading goods. pipeline materials, returnable transport materials, etc. Okay, so material type is a key that assign the materials to a group of material types such as raw material, finish, semi-finish, trading goods, etc. Okay, and these are the some of the standard metal types given by SAP. You don't have any abbreviation, guys, or you don't have any expansion. It's just ROH, identified as a raw material. It is just as a FERT, finished product. HALB identifies as semi-finished product. HAWA, HAWA, trading goods. PIPE, pipeline materials. LEIH, returnable packaging materials. So you don't have any abbreviation. They are just a material types. Okay? So even we can create our own metal types also. So these are all given by standard SAP and they are available in the system. Okay. So these are different types of metal types we have in our system. Next, price control. So what does this price control means? Now here the company is producing the materials and the company is purchasing the materials. Then what happens, guys, when you purchase the materials, for example, vendor send the material, you'll get the stock of that material, right? So for the stock of the material, you'll have some value. For example, I have received a material called steel, 10 tons. Now the stock of that material is now 10 tons. So for the 10 tons of the quantity of the material, we'll have some value for that material. In the same way, when the company produces the finished material or manufactures finished material, then we'll have the stocks of the materials. And for the stock, you will have some value. Okay. So here, using an indicator called price control, we are going to evaluate the stocks of the materials and goods. Therefore, what is the price control means? Price control is an indicator used to evaluate the stocks of the materials and goods. It is an indicator used to evaluate the stocks of the materials and goods. And this price control is divided into two types. One is moving price, or we call it a moving average price, identified with capital letter V. The second one is standard price, identified with capital letter S. And for the metal types like ROH, pipe, HAWA, LEH, we use price control is V, because today price may not be tomorrow, tomorrow price may not be day after tomorrow. So it will keep on moving. So that's the reason the materials which belongs to these metal types will have price control V. And for the metal types finish, semi-finish, we have the price control is yes. It's a finished material. It's a standard price. Next is valuation class. So what this valuation class means? The main function of this valuation class is to determine the GL accounts. GL account stands for general ledger accounts during the goods movement of the material. The main function of valuation class is to determine the GL accounts during the goods movement of the material. And here, these are the standard valuation classes given by SAP. Even we can create our own valuation class and we can assign it. And further, this valuation class is linked to GL account. So we have a topic called integration with finance module. There we can create our own valuation class, and this valuation class is further linking to the GL accounts. As of now, we are going to use the SAP given standard valuation classes for these material types. Instead of 3000, I can create whatever the valuation class I want to have. But as of now, we are going to use the SAP standard valuation classes. So next is number ranges. So here we come to the concept of number ranges. Now what is this number ranges means? So whenever we create any purchase order, vendor, material, customer, sales order, production order, when we create in the system and when we save it, the system will throw a message saying that purchase order is created, number, sales order created, a number, production order is created, a number, or goods receipt is created, number, etc., etc., etc. How the system is displaying this number? The system displays the number automatically unless and until we maintain the number ranges for each and every document in the background. Unless and until we maintain the number ranges for these documents in the background, then only the system displays the number automatically whenever you save a purchase order or a sales order, production order, blah 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 blah. Here the SAP has provided the limitation to maintain the number ranges. What is that? The maximum number of digits or alphabets allowed to maintain the number ranges is 18, 18. The maximum number of digits or alphabets or alphanumeric allowed is 18. That is SAP standard. So from number will be 1 and to number will be 18 digits of 9, not more than that. If you take in alphabets, it is from A to Z. And these number ranges can be numeric, alphabetic, and alphanumeric. These number ranges are further classified into two categories: external number ranges, internal number ranges. So what is this external, what is this internal? So in the case of external number ranges, the system generates manually, we're supposed to enter the number from the number ranges maintained. External number ranges concept is manually we need to enter the number from the number ranges defined or created. So for example, I maintain the number ranges for purchase order from 1 to 100, and the number ranges type is external. Let us say it means at the beginning of creation of the purchase order itself, we supposed to enter the number. Which number you will enter? Within this interval 1 to 100. So manually we need to enter the number. That is the concept of external number ranges. Let us say we have maintained the number ranges from 1 to 100 and the number ranges type is internal. Then what is this? If the number ranges type is internal, after creating the purchase order, when you save it, the system will take the number automatically. From where it will take? Between the interval 1 to 100. Please remember guys, from here onwards, this number ranges concept will get everywhere. Okay, the funda will be the same. Maximum number of digits allowed will be 18. From number will be 1. To number will be 18 digits of 9. If you take in alphabets, it is from A to Z. Then the number ranges type will be internal and external. And if it is internal number ranges, so the system generates a number automatically within the number range what we maintain. Suppose if the number range is external, so manually we supposed to enter the number at the time of creation of purchase order or a purchase requisition or a quotation or a vendor, material, customer, etc. So internal means system generates a number automatically within the range. External means we supposed to enter the number within the range what we have maintained. So this is the concept of the number ranges. Okay. So before creation of the material master or before going for the material types creation and all, so first of all we have to know whatever the views we are going to have in the material master and what are these views and which views belongs to which module. Then we have to know about the material types, the price control, so what is a valuation class, and these number ranges. Okay. Then we'll go for the creation of the material types. So we can create our own material types also. We have the SAP given standard material types, boss. Even we can use that material types also. Suppose if the client want to have some of the requirement, their own material types, then by using the SAP given standard material types, we can create client requirement material types and we'll assign the number ranges. And this defining of the number ranges, as I told you, maximum is 18 digits. We have two types of number ranges, internal, external. Internal means automatic number ranges. External means manually we enter the number ranges within the interval what you have maintained. Then we can go for creation of the material types, and for this material types we can assign the number ranges for the material types. Therefore, what happens when you are going to create a material master with a particular material type, the system will take the number which in the interval what you have defined or what you have assigned or what you have created. So his next setting is configuration settings.